Good morning, and welcome back to Hanksy Panksy Honor Among Reeves, a podcast where two dumb idiot best friends absconded with Tom Hanks, purloined Dwayne Johnson, and are about to be absolutely mugged by Keanu Reeves. I'm Sam Siegel, and I'm stealing your heroin and replacing it with brown sugar.
I was going to say that I'm stealing your evidence, which
Mm,
seems pretty much like we're doing the same thing.
well, there's a lot to steal, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Also, I liked the NPR style intro there. Hi,
yeah,
guys.
so
Welcome back to Hanksy Panksy.
so here's the thing. This is sort of a preview for what it'll be like after I come back from my break, after the wee baby Keanu comes,
Mhm.
because at time of recording, my wife is still asleep. And now,
Really?
yes, we were awoken rather early by my cat because I had the audacity to speak at 4:30. Um, and so you're probably thinking, oh, you're going to get like a more genial, more relaxed Sam. No, that is not true. I'm still going to talk about like cum and piss and fuck and all that stuff. I'm just going to have a calmer voice while I do it because I don't want to wake her up.
Yeah, you don't. You
Yeah.
definitely don't. So I guess the onus is on me to do the screaming. Usually you do the screaming.
I mean, I can do a quiet scream like, ah,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sorry, I was
yeah.
taking a big old swig of
Oh,
coffee
no, no,
because
you're good.
it's pretty early when we're recording this. I mean, not really for either one of us.
Yeah, I mean, I have been up since 4:30 this morning.
Yeah, because of the aforementioned cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, Luke, obviously we watched 2008's Street Kings. Sorry, I little brain fart there. Um, Luke, how was your watch?
Bifurcated.
Yes, I'm very curious to hear about your bifurcated watch here.
Yeah, so I've had kind of a rough week at work
Mm-hmm.
and then took a day off yesterday. I might have to work today and tomorrow.
Ugh.
Ooh, it's a holiday weekend for those listening on Wednesday when this comes out.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's very difficult to do a quiet raspberry.
Mm.
Quiet fart noise. It's pretty tough. Pretty tough.
Yeah. I appreciate you doing your best though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so comes time to watch this movie. Sam, I pull it down from Amazon. I go over to Jeffrey Bezos' shack, his post-divorce shack.
Mm-hmm.
I knock on the door. I say, "Hey, I would really like Street Kings." And he goes, "Street Kings? Where?" And then he like it was just like a cartoon. He was throwing shit
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, just DVDs, piles of DVDs in his shack as he's throwing them all over there.
Did he at
Um,
any point bring you just a video of streakings?
uh, he tried,
Mm-hmm.
and I did dissuade him because I said, "No, no, no, no." Although put a pin in that.
Yeah, I'll need that
Um,
after
I'll need that later.
for a little bit of
So
Papa time, if you know what
the
I mean.
I appreciate you bringing this to the forefront, Jeffrey. But no, what I need is Street Kings. And
Mm,
eventually he did find it anyway, booted it up. Much to Jeffrey's chagrin, I did pause and leave the movie after about an hour. Um,
okay, okay. I was
because,
wondering when you dipped.
yeah, about an hour in. So I only had
Okay.
like 45 minutes, 40
Yeah,
minutes left.
yeah, that's not too bad.
The logic being, Sam, this movie, spoiler alert, is challenging in some
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
So I dipped and I played Disney came out with a card game.
Mm-hmm.
So I did sort my collection
Okay.
like a real nerd. I've got a card binder showing up today, which I'm really
Oh,
excited about.
okay. Okay then.
Um, gonna store all my pretty Disney cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then I went to sleep very early,
About what time, my friend?
8:45.
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty early, my God.
That's when I crawled into bed. Yeah, I mean, I gotten up on Friday. I got up at 5 to start coding
Mm-hmm.
for my job.
Yeah.
So catching up on lost sleep here
Sure. Yeah.
and burning the candle at both ends. So anyway, went to bed. Um, yeah, man, and then finished it off this morning. It was just a lot at the time, and Papa needed a break.
Papa needed some Papa time, huh?
Papa needed a lot of Papa time. Really needed
Oh,
to simmer my
about
meatloaf.
about 6 hours of Papa time, huh?
About 6, 7 hours of Papa time. A chill flight from coast to coast worth
Mm-hmm.
of Papa time
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
to sort of recover. So anyway, I finished it this morning, and here I am. Sam, how was your watch?
We ordered Pizza Hut.
Oh, okay. Hang on, really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go get the Pizza Hut,
Of
or did you have it the Pizza
course I
Hut
did
delivered?
not.
Okay.
This is a delivery situation, my friend. I'm not
Why'd you get
leaving that.
Pizza Hut?
You know, um, we didn't feel like cooking. We were a little tired because we're getting we're getting some new floors upstairs, and so we're having to clear out a bunch of shit up here. And
Yeah,
I've also been painting the nursery, and so that's been taking up a lot of time. And so we were just tired, didn't feel like cooking.
yeah.
And so I was tossing out ideas of what to have for dinner. And I tossed out the cow, kebab house, um, couple other options. And then I mentioned pizza, and Kenna grabbed onto that one, and she said pizza. And I said, okay, where do you want it from? And she said Pizza Hut. And I said, and like we've had discussions about ordering Pizza Hut before. Um, just you're just talking about like, maybe we should give it a shot.
Yeah,
Because for a while we were trying to work our way through every pizza joint in town and give it a cheeky little review.
yeah.
So we ordered the big dinner box.
What? Okay. Now walk me through that.
The big dinner box is two medium pizzas, kind of like a Detroit style pizza. So it's a square and it's like got
Sure.
a thicker, kind of crispier crust. Um, like a half dozen breadsticks and your choice of either wings or pasta.
And we've talked about this. You are not a wings guy.
No, no, but Kenna is.
Okay.
And so we chose the wings. Kenna is saving those for lunch today.
What flavor of wings is Pizza Hut offering?
Fuck if I know.
Okay, because you know that wings come in flavors, right?
Yes, I am aware of that.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Cool, 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 cool,
I
cool, cool.
it got to I specialized my pizza, which was pepperoni. And then I handed the phone to Kenna and said, "Go hog wild." And she got some sort of Hawaiian monstrosity. And I don't know what she did for the wings. I don't even know if you can pick wing flavors at Pizza Hut because
They
it would
just
not
they
shock me
just
if they're just like it's wing flavored.
it's wings. It's chicken flavored,
It's
you
wing
know?
flavor. Um, so okay, when you hear big dinner box,
Mm-hmm.
roughly how big do you think it is?
From Pizza Hut?
Yeah,
How if you don't mind my probing into your financial status, how expensive was this guy?
the big dinner box on its own, I think is like $26 to $30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Still, $30 at Pizza Hut.
30 bucks at Pizza Hut.
I would expect a dinner's worth of food, like a I am stuffed
Yeah,
dinner's worth of food.
I guess I mean, how wide do you think the box is?
Like
Because
the
it's
pizza
it's
box?
one box.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's the big dinner
it's
box.
the big dinner box.
The big dinner box.
Surely I'm gonna go hog wild and say this is a 3 foot box that is about 6 inches deep, loaded to the brim.
Okay, so it is normal pizza box depth, but bud, you are not too far off. It is about a door's width.
It's like moving furniture. It's so big you gotta tilt it sideways to get it in the
Like
door.
I opened the door and there was the delivery man with this very wide box, and I had to stop myself from going, fuck. I was not prepared for this. And so I called Kenna over, and I was standing in a hallway so she couldn't fully see the box. And I said, "How wide do you think this motherfucker is?" And she said, "I don't know, pretty wide." And I just slowly moved it. And I hope from her perspective, it just kept going and going and going and going. It was like it's hard to get the
It
but
can't even fit in frame,
it can't
folks.
even
It
fit
can't
in
even
frame.
fit in the Zoom frame.
But yeah, basically a door's width. And my guy, fuck, it was good.
Yeah.
It was real good because sometimes you just want a dog shit pizza.
Well, I call it slutty pizza. Sometimes you just want
Yeah,
you want to be fucked up. You want
you
to get
just
fucked up by
want
pizza.
like a low quality pizza.
Yeah.
And boy, it hit the mark. It hit the
Mm.
mark in a big way.
And
And then
it like between $20 and $30, that's you
yeah,
can't afford not to eat Pizza Hut, people.
I know. I hate to admit it, it's a great deal because we
Yeah.
had a lot left over. Um, and then I followed that up with a donut because Kenna ordered donuts yesterday morning, and she ordered 6, and Shipley sent us 12.
Oh
So,
man, you got bonus donuts.
oh hell yeah, we did. So followed that up with a sour cream donut. Otherwise,
Which is
watch was pretty standard.
can I just say, as a person with celiac,
Hmm.
what you had would be my final meal.
Pretty much, yeah.
If
I
I were
had,
to, yeah.
I did have hummus, with some carrots because I was like, I have to have something nutritious.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the nutrition. I mean, sometimes you just need a slutty meal, as
Hmm.
established. You want to be a
Sure,
little slutty.
yeah, yeah. Why not?
Why not? But just all that between the Detroit style pizza,
Hmm.
which has a thicker crust, as
Oh
you've
yeah,
mentioned,
yeah.
pretty thick boy. And the donut, that's how I would go.
And breadsticks.
I would just like put an Ayn Rand novel in my hands,
Mhm. Which
consume
one?
this meal, probably the Fountainhead to
Okay,
confuse
poor
people.
choice.
Yeah. Um, and then go out in a blaze of glory.
Do you think it would be a blaze of glory though, Luke?
It would be a blaze, I'll tell
Yeah, I
you
was
that.
gonna say blaze of shame, perhaps.
Feeling my intestines burn so hard that I
Hmm.
self-immolate.
There you go.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was Pizza Hut, and I
Nice.
got to tell you, they're not wrong. You cannot out Pizza the Hut.
I just wish that when the delivery guy had you open the door, I wish he'd gone, "It's a thick boy."
See, the
Here
problem
comes
is
the gravy train. It's a real big boy.
that that opens up the possibility, the interpretation for the delivery fellow, that I am talking about him, which is
Yeah.
not what I want.
Oh, I wanted him to say this.
Oh, about me?
Which no, about the delivery
But see,
item.
here's the problem. He says it's
Yes.
a thick boy, and I'm gonna be like, the delivery guy called me fat, and I tipped him real good. I don't
I
know why he
tipped him
called
so
me
good.
fat.
Um, or you could interpret it. What I thought you were going to say is that you could interpret it as the delivery man commenting on the size of his member.
Mm,
Um,
that's possible too.
that's also a possibility. Here comes a thick boy.
Hmm.
Thanks for the tip. Now let me give you mine.
Yeah, yeah. Extra sausage, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we watched that. Kenna did actually watch like the entire movie with me.
Damn.
Um, Pretty unwilling. And then I played Starfield after.
What?
Yeah, because see, here's the thing. I have Game Pass,
Yeah.
which is a phenomenal deal. Get it? And with Game Pass, the ding dang game is free. And you can start playing it like one day early, which I think is like the 5th.
Yeah.
However, if you upgrade to the premium edition for $30, you could start playing it August 31st. And my guy, I got suckered in, and I spent
They got
$30.
you.
Here's the thing though, without Game Pass, it's $100. So
It's
I got
$100.
the premium edition. Yeah.
Woof. What
Yeah.
is
So,
back in my day? You could spend $20 on a game or less if you went to
oh, sure.
GameStop,
Yeah.
everybody's favorite stock, and then grabbed it used. You
Hmm.
were looking at $20 or less
Oh,
for a
yeah.
game.
Well, I mean, again, these premium editions,
Yeah.
they're pricey. And collector's editions, those things are like $130.
This isn't even the collector's edition.
No, this is one that comes with like an extra pack and you get to play it like basically a week early. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do it, and I told myself, no, 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 not worth the $30 to upgrade to the premium edition. And then I got real bad FOMO, and so I upgraded to the premium edition. It took, I'm not joking, about 8 hours to download because the
Yeah.
signal to my Xbox is not very good.
And the game is
It
huge.
is about 100 gigs,
Yeah.
and I started installing it. I don't know, around like 7 or 8 p.m. And did I set an alarm for 2 in the morning to wake up to check on it so that I could turn the Xbox off? I did. I did do this.
Was
And
it
it
ready by the time you got up?
no, because it had stalled out at like 95 out of 100 gigs. And so I
Yeah.
restarted it and it just resumed. And then I just stood there. I'm not joking. I stood in only my underwear in the living room watching this thing install for 20 minutes and then I went to
Jesus.
bed.
Can I share a similar story about getting
Sure.
up in the middle of the night? Also,
Yeah.
really quick, was it worth the $30?
Yeah, it was. It
Okay,
really
yeah,
was.
yeah,
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 it's
yeah,
very
yeah,
good.
yeah. So I mentioned this Disney trading card game.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Lorcana, Lorcana.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, here's where my journey began. We went to the game store, our local
Your
local
friendly
game store.
neighborhood game store.
Yeah, friendly neighborhood Magic Emporium. One morning, we get up really early,
Mm-hmm.
so we were there before it opened.
Oh.
As you do, we pulled on the door, and we're like, ah, shit, it doesn't open until 10.
Mm-hmm.
We were there earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
How much earlier?
not by much, by
Okay.
like 45 minutes, I think.
Okay, I would call that much.
I just assume places open at 9, but it makes sense that your local game
Mm-hmm.
store would be like, who's gonna be here?
Yeah, what fucking idiot is
Yeah,
gonna show up here at 9 in the morning?
yeah, exactly. It was us.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then there was a guy. There were a couple people standing around,
Mm-hmm.
right? Weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this guy
Strange.
sees us pulling the door, and he's like, "Are you guys here for Lorcana?" And I did not understand the syllables. It was one of those situations where I was like, I understand English. I do not know what you just said. So I said, "What is that?" Then he explained it's a Disney trading card game. Little did he know the trajectory I would go on from not knowing at all what this thing was
Mm-hmm.
to buying a couple starter decks
Okay.
to spending because it was released in local game stores, and then they did big box releases on
Mm-hmm.
last Friday, to going to every Target, every Walmart, and every Best Buy I could find on release day looking for more cards.
Has anyone ever told you that you have a problem?
I do have a problem. Yes, and my
Yeah.
problem is that I don't have enough Lorcana cards.
No, I don't think that's the problem, my friend.
The solution would have been if any of these places had Lorcana cards. They did not.
I think they were trying to help you.
Yeah. Like, no, please. Please
Like
no.
folks, he's sitting here like itching.
Yeah, I'm
He's
itching.
itching like he's got fucking heroin withdrawals.
Yeah. But where it's going with this is that the day of release, uh it was a midnight release, right?
Oh God.
So what does your boy do? Well, sets a timer for
Oh
11
no.
because East Coast time is an hour ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll set a timer for 11. I'll check all the online available options, including Jeffrey Bezos's big, beautiful book warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check it at 11. Well, I check at 11, nothing.
Uh-huh.
So I set a timer for an hour. And I check at midnight, Central Time, nothing. And I'm like, okay, I'm safe for a little bit because they're not going to do a Rocky Mountain Time release.
Did they do a Rocky Mountain time release?
Rocky Mountain Time release is a great title.
I do like Rocky Mountain time release.
All right, I'll write it down in a second. Anyway, and so it's like, okay, I will set one more timer for Pacific time. And Sam, did I get up at 2 a.m. to look for cards? Yes, I did. Were there any available on anywhere? So here's the deal. Best Buy
Mm-hmm.
had the booster packs or the booster boxes listed.
Mm-hmm.
It was listed as coming soon. Couldn't
Okay.
buy it. Well, these motherfuckers at 2 a.m., so 12 Pacific time,
Uh-huh.
immediately flipped it from coming soon to out of stock.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
that see, when I was hunting for a GPU during the
Yes.
pandemic, it's that same life.
It's that same life. Exactly. Just waiting for product to show up
Mm-hmm.
online and it's not
Mm-hmm.
coming. So anyway, long story short, Barnes and Noble hooked us up yesterday of all places.
Hmm.
They had a bunch of booster packs. I walked away with I've never walked up to a counter before and said, "How many do you have?"
Oh
And
no.
then said, "I'll take all of them."
Okay. Luke, we delved into my finances. How much have you spent on this goddamn card game?
Not much is the actual answer. Sub $200.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Hey, bud, you just balked at spending $100 on the premium edition of Starfield, which I
True.
didn't even do. And
Yeah.
you're sitting here saying, not much. I spent under $200. Like $200. That's not nothing.
No, it's not. And to your point, I could have bought Starfield twice.
Yes.
Basically. I mean, a little, 1.75 times or whatever.
Oh my God, guy.
Um, but it's a great game. It's really fun. Collecting is fun. It's feeding my inner child, which my therapist says is good. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Oh,
not a. It's maybe I don't know. Here's the deal. I sold all my Pokemon cards back in the day, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I pulled a foil Charizard out of the first round of Pokemon cards. Bought a pack, pulled out a foil Charizard.
Oh, damn.
That guy today is like a $10,000 card.
Fuck almighty.
And I sold it to a kid in my neighborhood, my whole collection for $50.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying Lorcana is going to be the same, but you never know.
So you're calling this an investment?
This is an investment in my
It's
future.
is that how you make it so you can sleep at night?
Yes, that and
Okay.
I play a lot of Lorcana, and it's pretty great.
Gotcha.
So
Hey, what is the plot of Street Kings?
this one's hard.
Can I
Um,
can I just describe the opening?
yeah, please.
Folks, we open on a grizzled, down on his luck, Keanu Reeves, sleeping with a gun in his bed and wearing Guy Fieri's cast-offs.
I wrote in my notes the first outfit we see him in. Oh, so good.
It is a shirt that even Guy Fieri would go, no,
That's too much. This
too
shirt,
much.
yeah,
Uh yeah, and I'll let you take it from there. He does vomit while he's brushing his teeth.
yeah, he's an alcoholic.
And
Um,
and then I'll let you continue from there. But I felt it was important to know that he was wearing a shirt
yeah,
that
like I
even
wrote
Guy
it in my
Fieri
notes.
thought was too much.
Yeah, Guy Fieri would have balked at the shirt at any price. $1? I don't know. That's still a
Oh
lot of
no,
shirt.
that's a lot of shirt. I don't
It's a
think
lot
I
of
can
shirt.
pull that off.
No. This from a guy with up upward facing faded tips.
Mm-hmm.
Faded tips reaching for the sky.
Yes.
Um anyway, it's really complicated and it's hard to break this one down, so I'll just give you the sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Um Keanu Reeves is a cop. Everybody in this movie is a cop for the most part.
Yeah.
We got Hugh Laurie, we got Forrest Whitaker, we got Keanu Reeves, we have other people. Um Everybody's a cop. Keanu Reeves is, we discover, a widower is the correct term,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Um, so he's an alcoholic to deal with his pain. He was at the beginning of the movie an undercover cop. He makes a big bust, but his whole deal is that he is basically John Wick. But if John Wick was a cop and none of this was okay,
Yeah,
nobody
pretty
killed
much.
his dog. He's just a cop that likes shooting people.
He is a cop. Well, if recent history has taught us anything, that seems to be most cops.
Yeah. And then it just kind of gets worse from there. So his old partner, played by Terry Crews,
Mm-hmm.
um, he there he thinks he's narking on him about
Mm-hmm.
something. He ratted him out to internal affairs, so he goes to where Terry Crews is at this gas station. His character's name is Washington. He goes to beat the piss out of Washington, and then two guys come in with, like, I don't know, you'd know better, like machine guns.
So one of them is a Tech Nine, which I actually this is an important plot point for me personally. So one of them is a Tech Nine, which is like a machine pistol,
Mm-hmm.
basically that it was not uncommon for like gangsters to use in like the 90s, especially in like LA. Like it's a common gun.
Yeah.
The other one is using a grease gun, which
Okay.
you probably don't know because
No.
it's a submachine gun from World War fucking two.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's like this really like it basically looks handmade
Yeah.
because it's like a real clunky, not very like pretty, just kind of workhorse of a submachine gun that like a lot of tank crews would use, hence it being called a grease gun.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the fuck anyone would be using that in early 2000s LA.
I mean, it is funny because it's got a 1940s name. Like, get the grease gun, son.
Exactly.
We gotta cap some Nazis.
The thing is, I think the thing was developed in the 30s, if not
Mm.
earlier. It is an old weapon. That, like, to give you an idea of like how janky this thing is, there's a clear on the back of every single one, there's a clear line where it's been welded. So it's two halves that just get welded together, and it's not like welded nicely or anything. It's just a big weld.
Mm. That actually was very rewarding. Thank you for Gun Corner with
You're
Sam.
welcome.
Anyway, two guys burst in. They do shoot Washington quite a lot.
A lot.
Like Boromir over here. They
Yeah.
they get him.
And then they do leave, and Kiana comes over and says, "Stay with me," to a man who is more bullet than man at this point.
Yeah, yeah. He's a cyborg in a way you don't want to be. He's full of metal. um, anyway, and then during this exchange, Keanu Reeves accidentally or intentionally, it's kind of hard to tell. I guess accidentally shoots Terry Crews in the back, friendly
Hmm.
fire. So there's two shooters recorded, three rounds, like types of round
Yes.
that are found in his body. This is kind of important because his commanding officer comes in and there's videotape or like surveillance footage of all this. He says, I'm going to leave. It'd be great if this surveillance footage went away.
Hmm.
And then everybody knows what this looks like. It looks like a hit that you perpetrated or like,
Coordinated,
um,
yeah, something.
yeah, something. So because you didn't do anything, Keanu Reeves was like hiding behind some stuff.
Right.
Full cover in D&D terms.
Hmm.
Um, and anyway, thus begins this complicated investigation where Hugh Laurie is like head of internal affairs
Hmm.
and is like bringing the heat on Keanu. Keanu's trying to figure out what's going on. Chris Evans is here as a like a detective for internal
Hmm.
affairs,
I
and
thought he
he's
was a homicide detective.
maybe he is. I don't know. Yeah, I think he is. I think you're right. He's a homicide detective. It doesn't matter.
It
It's
does.
just a huge convoluted web of cops being incredibly shitty. Um
Normal for cops.
and Um, everybody's corrupt. Keanu, and it's hard to root for Keanu even because he's blowing people away as an MO.
And like lying about it in like
Yeah,
debriefings. So like
like
the first thing we see him do is quite honestly a pretty bomb ass action sequence
yes, the
where
action scene
he
it is conflicting. I have conflicting emotions about it because there's some John Wick shit in
oh
here.
yes there is.
Yeah,
And so the first thing we see is he like goes into his house unannounced, blows everyone away with no warning whatsoever. And then later he's like, yeah, so I walked in, I announced myself, they fired at me, I shot, I this and that, and like he stages it so it looks like they fired at him, and like it is pretty hard to root for him
yeah.
because like, mm, pretty crooked.
And like halfway through the movie, they try to pivot it to where he realizes that everybody else, quote unquote, is corrupt,
Mm-hmm.
and that he's like gonna try to avenge his ex partner's murder by taking on these other cops and
Doing a lot of extrajudicial killings.
yeah, doing a lot of outside the law bullshit. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, and then in the end, you find out, of course, his commanding officer was the one selling drugs,
Mm-hmm.
building up the cookie jar. Keanu Reeves shoots him. Then Hugh Laurie comes out and they talk about how they got the bad guys in the police department.
And
Um,
then even then, it's sort of corrupt because he's like, "You were the first one on scene."
yeah,
Hugh Laurie's like, "You weren't here until after it had happened," and it's just
yeah.
like, this is still bad.
This is still bad. Yeah. Every inch of this movie is pretty bad, which is why Sam, this movie is challenging.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I would say this movie is copy.
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 All right, talk me through that one.
Cop dash Y.
Oh, it's propaganda is what you're
I don't even think I would call it propaganda.
yeah.
It's just very copy.
Yeah, it's cops doing shit to lots of innocent, well, lots of people who deserve a trial, and then
Mm-hmm.
to themselves. It's just like a internal
Yeah.
struggle.
And I gotta tell you something. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why. Maybe it's because I haven't watched a lot of cop movies in a while for obvious reasons. Man, they really kind of show their asses in this, huh? Because it's always like every cop movie, every single one, where it's like trying to lionize cops because they all are. Who's the villain in all of these? It's internal affairs. You
Yeah.
know, the group that's supposed to like investigate wrongdoing in police departments.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who are always like, oh, fuck those guys. And it's like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
You take one step back and you recognize like, actually, no. The concept of internal affairs is a good thing.
Yes. It's like being at your job and being like, fuck HR. Fuck
Yeah,
those people.
yeah. Fuck like an ombudsman, you
Yeah.
know? Any way to like search out and deal with wrongdoing is bad. And
It's
it's just
bad.
like all these movies, I realized watching this one, are very much advocating for cops should be able to do everything they want to do with impunity,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, he literally says Keanu, he's talking, he has like a nurse girlfriend who
Mm-hmm.
patches him up all the time because he keeps
Yeah.
getting shot. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know why she's with this guy.
Mm-mm.
Because he says stuff like, and I quote, "We're cops, we can do whatever the hell we want."
Chilling.
Chilling, bone chilling
Absolutely
stuff.
chilling.
Which is why I turned the movie off after a little
Mm-hmm.
while.
That's fair. I was too hyped up on Pizza Hut. Because remember, you can't out Pizza the Hut.
You can't. Thank you, Pizza Hut, for your money. This episode sponsored by Pizza Hut
Mm-hmm.
and still McCormick.
Yeah.
Every episode from, because they I just realized we didn't talk about that on the podcast,
No, we
so
talked about
that's
that
just
in person at a party that we were at.
McCormick has a full product placement in Disney's Haunted Mansion.
Hmm.
So I like to think that they would also sponsor our piddly little podcast.
It wouldn't
Um,
shock me at
it
this
wouldn't
point.
shock me. Yeah. So they just pay us to talk about these wonderful, lovely spices that you can use to cook,
Hmm.
make your food even better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um, what the fuck were we talking about?
This movie.
Oh yeah, I will say when Hugh Laurie first showed up in a hospital, I was like, wait a second,
Yes.
is
I
this
got
a house
really
crossover?
I got really excited for a second. I was like, oh shit.
It's just
Dr.
Dr.
Gregory House.
House who's here checking on Keanu, who in this movie gets shot multiple times and handles it about as calmly as I do when my cats bite me, which is to just go,
Yeah.
it's so strange how chill this guy is with getting shot.
It's like, you know how if you're a beekeeper and eventually, assuming you don't have allergic reactions, you kind of get used to bee stings, or like
Mm-hmm.
you just sort of, it's whatever, you build up an immunity to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's him and bullets.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. You get
Yeah.
shot enough times, you build up an immunity to having lead shoved into your body
Mm-hmm. At high speed.
at high speed, and you're good. That's what
Yeah.
nobody talks about. Yeah.
Yeah. You just really got to put in the time.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
Can I say really quick that I have 6 notes?
Ooh, okay, that's challenging.
Yeah.
I actually took a decent number of notes here. Um, so kind of in our first interaction that we see with Keanu, he's trying to sell uh a light machine gun to a couple gangsters.
Yes.
And first of all, wild that he would choose. I think it's a 1918 Browning. It's
It's
like a
yeah.
it's like a mounted machine gun. Um, which is a wild choice. And he says some pretty rank shit.
He says he's it's okay. So throughout this movie, people call him a racist.
Mm-hmm.
He says very racist stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's all in addition to everything else that he's doing in this movie. And they never disprove the racist part.
I gotta tell you, in fact, Terry Crews early on is like, "You're a racist," and Keanu goes, "Yes, I am."
He verbatim says, I am.
Yeah, he
I don't know. I
says,
mean, you could make the argument that he's like being facetious,
I don't know.
but
We like almost he shoots one white guy
yeah,
and a lot of non-white people.
a lot of not white people get hurt in this
Mm-hmm.
movie at his hand. Yeah.
So in this conversation with these two gangsters trying to buy a 1918 Browning, um, he he says, "You boys like pussy, don't you?"
Yeah.
Which is it's not the intonation, but I got to tell you, it is a weirdly kind way to ask. Um, a horrific question.
Yeah.
But I'm stuck on another comment he made. I'm not going
Yeah.
to say the whole statement because it's wretched,
Yeah.
but he does say,
I know where you're going.
"You drive Jew."
You drive Jew.
You drive Jew. And Luke, this has lived rent free in my head. What the fuck is driving Jew?
I don't
Because
know.
it can't be the manufacturer of car because to my knowledge, well, let's break it down.
Yeah.
So it sure shit ain't BMW or Volkswagen.
It's not BMW or Volkswagen,
Can't be those.
which I think
Prob-
is probably, I don't know why, but I feel like that's what he meant.
I I I don't know how it could be though,
Is it?
because
Yeah.
funnily enough, I sent you an Instagram post this morning
Yeah.
of someone who responded to like BMW's Twitter asking what's your favorite photo of BMW with an old medal with BMW above it and a swastika.
Yeah. It's grim stuff. We all know the history of BMW
Mhm.
and Volkswagen, the people's car.
Yeah. So
Um,
it also I think can't be Mercedes because they're in there.
Yeah, I think Mercedes was neutral during the war, but we all knew where Mercedes was
Wait,
leaning.
didn't they make one of Hitler's cars?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it's not that neutral for my friend.
Again, neutral technically, but yeah.
They would have made a car for Winston Churchill if he
If
asked.
he'd asked for it.
So I think we also have to rule out British car makers like Land Rover and Jaguar
Jaguar. Yeah, I think I know
and
who the
Mini
manufacturer is, but I want to go
because
through the full list.
they did expel the Jews from England a
Yeah,
ways back.
a ways back.
And I don't think they ever apologized, actually.
I don't think anybody. Well, we got Benjamin Disraeli. Does that count? He
I don't think
converted
so.
to the Episcopal or the Church of England, so I don't know that that really counts in any sense.
No, I don't think so. And it's not an apology, though we are asking the Brits to apologize, which is not something they'll ever do.
No, they have a glorified warehouse full of things that they need to apologize for,
And they never will.
and they never will.
It can't be a Japanese car manufacturer, according to my grandfather. So that rules out a lot.
I think I know.
It can't.
Also,
It
I
sure
don't.
shouldn't Ford.
It's not Ford, Chevy, or Buick or Cadillac. Um, there's
GMC.
GMC. Nah, nothing
No.
American. I don't think. Which leaves exactly one manufacturer that I think we can all agree is.
It,
Yeah,
is it Hyundai?
it's not Hyundai.
Oh, because I believe they're South Korean.
They are South Korean. They are Korean cars.
So that's okay.
That's okay. That one's fine. But I think there's a real. I think there's specifically a vehicle manufacturer. Uh,
Mm.
and I think it's weird because speaking of World War II, neutral. But today, I think they cater to a specific market. Sam, it is Volvo.
Volvo.
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't considered Volvo. I frankly forgot Volvo. What if, what if you have the country right, but the brand wrong? It is in
Oh,
fact the defunct Saab.
Saab. It is totally Saab.
Saab.
Former airplane manufacturer turned car dealer.
Turned
Saab.
failed car dealer.
Turned failed car
It's
dealer.
important to note.
Yeah.
Saab.
Saab, man. Oh, yes.
Got it.
Um,
So he drives a very nice Saab.
he drives a $100,000 Saab.
Which I think actually would be a plane at that point.
It would just be a plane. He drives a plane that's been converted into a car.
Mm-hmm. Um, there was another weird thing in this opening scene, um, that grabbed me, which was he's going through this house doing some extrajudicial killings, and the last person he kills is a man in a towel and like a lone
Lone
a
Ranger.
Lone Ranger style like
Yes.
bandit mask just over the eyes. Never explained.
No explanation. No explanation required, man.
I do require an explanation, my friend. Why is he wearing nothing but this little bandit mask? He looked like it's like a raccoon mask.
Yeah. I have no fucking clue. It's a weird because here's the deal. The rest of the movie, it's not there's no playing for laughs in this
No.
movie. There's
Mm-mm.
no humor in this movie at all.
No.
So why is this guy dressed up like the Lone Ranger? Or like a Zorro? It's kind of like a little Zorro
Yeah,
mask.
sort of. Well, oh, is Zorro like a whole bandana
I
covering
think de-
half?
I think depending on the version, sometimes Zorro
Mm.
has a bandana and a leather mask
Oh,
that he
okay. Depends
wears,
on your Zorro.
kind of like in Princess Bride. Princess Bride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you.
Anyway, sorry, I always get Princess Bride and Princess Diaries not mixed up in my head, but the titles mixed
Yeah.
up,
Oh, hey, you and me both.
and they're very different. So
Pretty different movies.
yeah,
They're both pretty good.
both pretty good. Both of which you can hear us talk. No, that's the other podcast.
Yeah, one of them's
Uh,
the other podcast, one's our Patreon. Yeah,
yeah,
let's move on. Um, so I do want to say we have John Corbett here with the worst facial hair I've ever seen.
it's pretty bad.
It is the ugliest Van Dyke, which is already a pretty ugly sort of style.
It's a look. Can we bring that back? Can you imagine having to take someone seriously with a Van Dyke?
Oh, I
Like you're
couldn't.
you're at the bank and the teller has a full Van Dyke,
Hmm.
which is to say it's not very full because it's a Van Dyke.
It's a Van Dyke, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I think I you gotta go to a different bank. You say, I'm withdrawing all my money right now,
Yeah.
no matter how much it is. And you go to a different bank and they're like, why'd you do that? And it's like, well, I went and the teller had a complete Van Dyke.
Yeah. And then their manager walks around the corner. What's he rocking?
A
It's
Van
a
Dyke?
full Van
No,
Dyke.
I want all my money back.
Yeah.
So, okay. Um, I realized what kind of movie this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just a dad movie. This is a conservative dad movie.
This is a conservative dad movie.
This is a Republican dad movie.
Yeah.
Um, because you know me, I love a dad flick.
Yeah.
Wasn't having a great time here.
Yeah.
Um, but I can tell you, you got a thin blue line flag and you got a kid, you love this movie.
You're gonna be so into this. If your
Oh yeah.
primary like cultural touchstone is the Punisher, if you love the Punisher, you're gonna have a great time with this flick.
If you think Don't Tread on Me in a good way, you will have a party
Yeah.
for this one right here. You'll have Keanu's horrible little monologue statement tattooed on your face.
Yeah.
Okay. I hmm, hmm. Let's see. We see him drink 4 little airplane vodkas.
Yeah, it's his go-to weirdly is not like
Hmm.
a handle of something. It's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
the
it's
little
more
mini bar
portable.
size.
Yeah, little mini
Yeah.
bar sized vodkas.
I was hoping that he would keep doing it throughout the film, but they dropped off pretty quickly.
They don't they don't talk enough about how he's not only doing horrible cop shit, but he's also drinking on the job and driving everywhere. And
And
everyone's kind of like, you got to dry up.
and getting drunk right before he goes and shoots people.
Yeah.
It's odd. We also see someone have beer and Fruit Loops.
Yes, I actually wrote in my notes beer and cereal. Now
I
let's
don't.
talk about this.
As a
Sam,
cereal aficionado,
yeah.
I don't think beer's gonna be good.
And see, as a former beer aficionado, I don't think adding Fruit Loops to your beer
Yeah,
is gonna enhance the flavors.
I think you could find a beer and cereal combo that's gonna work. I don't think that's Fruit Loops.
I don't think Fruit Loops works in any combination.
Incorrect. So, I don't know if I've told you or our listeners about the midweek mix-up.
Mm-hmm.
So that I eat cereal for breakfast every day.
Yes.
And every weekday I have cinnamon life. And at some point I decided, it would be fun if every Wednesday I mixed up 2 different cereals. Just to
living
see what happened.
living on the edge
Oh
over
yeah,
here.
it's wild shit. It's
Every
basically
just
criminal.
Wednesday?
Just Wednesday. Now, weekends, I just have my sugary cereals. But Wednesday is reserved for the midweek mix 'em up, where I mix up different cereals.
Okay.
About a year ago, I mentioned this to friend of the podcast, Adrian,
Yeah.
and she decided she too would begin doing the midweek mix 'em up. And we have continued every Wednesday morning. I send Adrian a photo of my mix up, and she sends me a photo of hers
Yeah.
many hours later when she wakes up or just eats cereal. And she went through a period that, or really a game show called Will It Loop, where she purchased a number of cereals to go along with Fruit Loops, and there wasn't a bad one in the bunch, apparently.
Maybe Fruit
Apparently,
Loops.
Fruit Loops go well with basically anything.
Maybe Fruit Loops are the omni food.
So yeah, maybe they have enough like different notes that they
Yeah,
would go well with beer.
maybe they would. There's only one way to find out. And Sam, it can't be me. Sadly, my drinking days, I had to retire. So
Well, that and the cereal would cause you quite the gastric grief.
it's true. Some cereals, like I can eat Reese's Puffs.
Can you?
Yeah, because they are gluten free. They're corn based. Do you think it's corn
Mm,
based?
I gotcha.
Rice Krispies are fine, but yeah, like
Hmm.
my favorite cinnamon toast crunch, can't do it anymore.
That sucks because they've got a Tres Leches
I
toast crunch
know.
that is phenomenal. I
I
polished off a
know.
box this morning and oh,
Yeah.
it's good. There's also an apple pie toast crunch that I'm gonna crack open tomorrow. I'm pretty pumped about.
Yeah. Man, again, really living on the edge over there.
Oh yeah, I'm a absolute wild man.
You're a party animal.
Um, so John Corbett later in the movie, before he thankfully dies, is saying some rank stuff, but is bragging about popping Viagra.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think we need to have a lot of shame about erectile dysfunction, but I also don't think maybe you should brag about popping Viagra.
It's a weird one. It's okay. Imagine let's have a little conversation. Hey
Uh
Sam,
huh.
how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I just popped 100 milligrams of Viagra.
Uh huh.
How do you feel in this moment?
Upset.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just
Upset,
upset.
scared,
Yeah,
confused.
like is 100 milligrams a normal amount, or is it a lot? Is it just a little? Like I don't have any frame of reference,
I don't
but I
either.
but I know your dick is kind of not working, if
Well, it
not
works.
completely not working.
It
If you
works
tell me
now.
that, well,
Yeah.
good. I mean, with 100 milligrams, which could be way too much.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he says in the movie, but it's a
Yeah,
very good point that I have no frame of reference for how much Viagra that actually is.
you
That could
know,
be
I'm gonna look it up right now.
okay.
What is the normal
Oh, your internet ads are about to get fucking wild, my
dose
friend.
of Viagra? Uh-huh. Okay. It's it's on the higher end. So it can be prescribed in doses for 25, 50, and 100 milligrams. So John Corbett's dick pretty definitively is not working great.
It's not going great.
Yeah.
Viagra is an option. I've also heard that therapy, sometimes there's mental
Mm-hmm.
blockers you may need to
Sure.
work through.
Sure.
I don't think John Corbett's going to go that route. I think instead
No.
he's going to slam a horse sized pill of Viagra,
Yeah. The actual maximum dose
the
of
maximum dose.
Viagra.
Um, and then he's going to do some horrible shit. So,
Yes. Yes. Speaking of ads, I got to tell you something.
yeah.
The current way ad algorithms work is makes no sense.
Hmm.
So, my wife's birthday was a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I got her some flowers from Urban Stems. Um, and after I made the purchase, I became bombarded with
Yeah.
ads for Urban Stems.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, fuckers, I already made the purchase. You're clearly on my radar. Why do I need more ads? Same thing happened when I got these here new glasses. Got a lot more ads for Zenny. I
Yeah.
already bought them. I
Yeah.
why would you send me the ad now?
That's wasted ad money. You
If
know what I mean?
anything, if anything, Warby Parker should be sending me ads saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, this fucker buys glasses because his eyes no good. So let's try to get him over to our side." But they don't do that. They just send you ads for shit you've already purchased, and
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, clicks and conversions, man. Someone's missing some clicks and conversions. The old C and C.
Yeah. Um. Would you like um a bit of a dad joke that I had at the end of the
It's
movie?
yes, please.
So towards the end of the movie, John Corbett is about to execute Keanu Reeves, and Keanu is crawling into the freshly dug grave where they're going to stuff his body.
Yeah.
And John Corbett is laughing and is making fun of him and is talking some shit. And Keanu really sells him on his desperation. And he gets John Corbett hook, line, and shovel.
That's not even. He kills him with a shovel. For
Yeah,
those who
he
haven't seen this
stobs
movie.
his head in with a shovel.
All
And
right, I'll
he
give
gets
it to
him
you.
hook, line, and shovel. That is the best I could come up with. Um, the only other thing I had was how the fuck is Forrest Whitaker adding money to his wall?
Yes, because it's paneling.
Yeah,
And
it's his whole wall.
it's his whole wall. So he released at the end of the movie, he's like, tear down the wall, and in his house. And they Keanu Reeves does, and there's like several $1 million worth in
Oh yeah,
cash
easily.
and drugs and stuff. But yeah, is he tearing it down, shoving in a new wad, and then having a contractor come through and like repanel the wall?
Which is so expensive. So at that point, what you're doing is you're putting money in and then you're going, hold on, I gotta set some aside for the work that has to
Yeah.
be done here. Or did he become very good at
Or
putting up walls?
unless
Unless
he's in the attic,
he's in the attic,
dropping it down into the
dropping it
walls,
down into the walls. That
which is
makes
highly impractical because what if you need some of it?
I I guess you'd get one of those grabbers
Yeah, you get
for
like a
old
trash
people.
grabber or
Yeah.
old people.
And you go up into the attic, you're like, hold on, I gotta make the mortgage payment. And you reach down in there and you pull it out.
Yeah. It's I it's I hadn't truly processed that. It's
Mm-hmm.
bananas.
It
His
is
storage system.
because he keeps talking about how like basically he's been like siphoning it away from the police force for a long time,
Yeah.
and how it's been like used over the past few years to like defend shitty cops and stuff.
Yeah.
So like yeah, he's having to go into this stash
Yeah.
with some frequency, and so it does beg the question: how are you getting there, Forrest Whitaker?
How you doing it?
Like why wouldn't you do like a false panel or like
Or a painting that like you is on hinges that you can like open or
yeah,
something.
or like behind a bookcase, or
Yeah.
under some floorboard, stuff that works,
Yeah.
or a storage unit. Just get a fucking storage unit.
Yeah.
Look, would you like an email?
I would love an email. What you got, my friend?
Well, let me get this pulled up. Okay, so we received an email titled Swedish Listener, Third Time, Food Edition from Emma.
Hell yes.
Emma writes, hello, Emma here, back again to grace you with my knowledge of the country that is Sweden. First, congratulations to Sam on the baby. So happy for you and McKenna. Wish you all the best with the little one and that McKenna has as easy as possible a pregnancy. Well, Emma, thank you very much. We're very excited and things are going well. Second, a part of me kind of does not want to tell you what we Swedes eat at Christmas since your version just sounds better, but when it comes to drugs, Sweden is still more judgy on that, including weed. And third, there are some variations depending on where you live, so I may have missed something. For example, I live in Norrbottens County, which is the most north area in Sweden, so I have some
Whoa.
dishes with moose in it. My relatives, brother and parents, are moose hunters. Okay, this is fucking fascinating.
This is legit. Are you kidding me?
So, Emma, do you like not see the sun for half of the year?
Probably. Yeah.
This is phenomenal. Okay. Hope this is somewhat of an interesting read. Well, Emma, you've already knocked our fucking socks off. So,
Yeah.
okay. An incomplete list of what you may find on a Swede's table on Christmas that is December 24th. 1. Pickled herring. Lots of them, in different tastes and all. Okay. 2. Potatoes, either mashed or just boiled. Are okay. Question about the boiled potato. Are they seasoned or are you just eating bland ass boiled potatoes
I
here,
don't
Emma?
think you're gonna like the answer to that one.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Three, homemade meatballs. Nothing beats a classic. Four, hard-boiled eggs in halves. Honestly, I don't know why, but sometimes we add some mayo and roe on it. That sounds pretty terrible.
Oh, I'd nosh that. Are you kidding me?
I'd rather get hit by a shovel.
By a Volvo?
Although, yes. Five, Jensen's Frestelze. I'm going to pronounce everything like it's German. Direct translation is Jansen's Temptation. Ooh. It's made with potatoes, anchovies, greta, onions, and strawbrot. The taste is something that is interesting, so if you have a chance to try, I would recommend to start with a small bite. I can guarantee it would be small, Emma.
Yeah, I also just want to say that I have sampled many cultures' cuisines.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime someone from said culture says, "This one's interesting,"
Mm-hmm.
you're rolling the dice. You're
Oh yeah.
really rolling the dice. Yeah.
Let's see. Six, sandwich toppings like cheese, ham, and vegetables. My family also have cold moose meat that either has been cooked in a slow cooker or in the oven the day before.
Hmm.
So you can do moose meat like a deli meat, like thinly sliced.
That would can imagine going into a New York deli. Next, hi, can I get 5 pounds of thinly sliced moose meat, please?
Moose. Phenomenal.
That would be fantastic.
Seven, gravlax. Eight, soft bread. And nine, Julmust. This one is difficult to explain. It's a soft drink, soda, and it's tasty, but I cannot describe it. Also,
Hmm.
want to add that if you don't have the time nor the energy to make anything from scratch, store bought is also fine. And while we're on the topic of food, let me just tell you if you're gonna open a can of surströmming, do it
Surströmming.
underwater.
I knew that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it underwater to avoid the worst smell.
Yeah.
Apparently, you're supposed to eat it with potatoes, sour cream, and chopped onion on a tunbrod, Swedish version of a flatbread. Never eaten it, so I cannot recommend it based on my own experience. I have some difficulty with seafood, so I rarely eat it. Thank you for reading this email, and hope that you all have a wonderful day every day. Emma. Thank you, Emma, so
Yeah.
much. This is
Emma,
incredible.
tack så mycket, I think is how you Swedes would say thank you very much.
Mm.
Tusen tack. That was fantastic.
Uh, Danke. Um, and then we have another email here. This says, note to self, proofread before sending. Hello again. In the last email I sent you, I forgot to make some sense, like not translating some words like Greta, cream, and Strohbrot, breadcrumbs. I am very sorry about that. And can I blame my ADHD on this one? Yes, you can. Hope this helps and have once again a nice day. Emma. Thank you, Emma. I
Yeah.
I love it. I
I
love it
love
so
it every
much.
time. Thank you for emailing so much. It
Yes.
really it makes my day that much more light and happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to rattle off very bad Swedish or Norwegian at you.
Yeah,
And
and
I
I get
hope
to
it makes
just
you happy.
and I get to Germanize it.
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
Well, Luke, you want to talk about what we're watching next week?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I did double check it. I just want to make sure I'm saying the right one. Next week we will be watching the 2000 hit film The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Interesting.
Do you know this movie?
No.
Okay, what do you think it's about?
Okay, one sentence. I think the Earth stops rotating. Everyone is flung off into space. It's interstellar,
Mm.
but sort of a disaster movie.
Oh, okay. Um, mine might be a little more than one sentence.
Okay.
Um, Keanu Reeves is older and is giving an interview about a magnificent awareness campaign that he did as a younger person. And so we flash back to a younger Keanu played by Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory as he
Mm-hmm.
tries to raise awareness of leg cramps. And this culminates in one day where everyone on the planet stands perfectly still for 5 minutes at the same time.
Nice. Kind of like Hands Across America.
Yeah,
But
but for Charlie horses.
yeah, I can also say I have to pee so bad, and that
Mm,
was torture. The
mm.
fact that that was more than one sentence.
Oh, I'm very sorry, but
It's okay.
I needed Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory to play a young Keanu Reeves.
It was worth it.
Yes. Well, folks, thanks for listening to another episode of Hanksy Panksy. You can find us on Facebook at Hanksy Panksy Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Hanksy Panksy Pod. You can send us an email at hanksypanksypod@gmail.com. We're also on Blue Sky as Hanksy Panksy over there. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Hanksy Panksy. We got a lot of fun stuff over there. We're working on getting caught up on some of our monthly episodes. And we don't use Twitter anymore. Luke. Chuck us enough money on the Patreon, you'll be one of Hanks's heroes. That's Tuck and Daniel. And fellas, I will not hit you in the face with a shovel. Luke, do you have a final quote?
I do. And once again, I'm going to give a different line read
Sure.
because it's said by Forrest Whitaker, but I think it's better said with a different accent and a different intonation, which is, "You got to hold your mud."
Perfection.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thanks for listening to another episode of Hanksy Panksy on or among Reeves. We'll be back next week with 2008's The Day the Earth Stood Still.